I have come here to chew bubblegum and
find games.
And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh, shit.
Near the entrance. Has a shotgun. White male, 30s.
Wants games.
Mama don't like
Resellers. Prefers retro.
Welcome to the first edition of Video Game Hunting Live. Alright, Saturday morning, do a little bit of game hunting today. Gonna hit some thrift stores, maybe a flea market, if I can find one. Goals for today, I'd like to find one playable game, just one. The way that it's been out here, I think that's asking a lot. What do I expect to find? A lot of crap, a lot of overpriced sports games and overpriced PlayStation 1s. We'll see. Bunch of junk. $4 for this. That's a decent shit. This shit could be painful every time I come in here and see this shit. Fucking selector. $20. It's not gonna PlayStation 1 for $7.99. This thing started out at $20. No thanks. First stop was the Goodwill. Yeah, got a couple things, but kind of a bust. Stop number 2, Savers number 1. This motherfucker pretty stacked today. It's a lot more shit than they usually have. Let's see. Still junk though. At least it's not all sports. It's a good thing. Icewind Dale. PC. Or Mac, whatever. Damn, still a bunch of crap. Let's see. I always check these racks twice just to make sure I don't skip over anything. I don't know anything about this game. I know I'm not gonna pay $5.99. No thanks. Not gonna do it. Because it's broken. Been here for a while. Xbox and shit. No. Ooh. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to these sort of things. I like this. I might grab this. Alright, so we're at Savers number 2. I just came back from trying to find an indoor flea market, which actually is not where it was supposed to be. It doesn't exist apparently. So back on the regular route, Savers. I'm gonna hit another thrift store or two, and then probably try to garage sales. Typical junk. $24.99 for this piece of shit. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Wow. PlayStation 2 racing wheel, $25. Jesus. Atari plug and play, $4. $5. I already have one of these and it's a piece of shit, so I can tell you right now it's not worth it. Jeez. Nothing, man. I'll be down. Smash with the video games. I don't know how much these are. Let's see what else we got. Original Xbox, $13. Obviously been opened up already, so I'm pretty sure that probably doesn't work. Let's see. Another Xbox, $12.99. No cords, no controllers, no nothing. Lame. So that was a giant bust. I don't know what it is about these stores and they're fucking overpriced. Goddamn crap. $25 for a racing wheel. $13 for a broken Xbox with no cords, no controllers, no nothing. I gotta stop going to these places and start hitting the garage sales and the yard sales while I can. It's just not worth it coming out here, man. It's just not. So this place is called Thrift Town, so it's gotta be good, right? It's a whole town of thrift. Don't have my hopes. Holy shit. $40 PlayStation 2. Nice. Guess what? Another $20 PlayStation. And another. Pet horses. Golden tea plug and play. I still don't have one of these. $6. I'm not gonna try it out. No thanks. Okay, so anyway, that place was a bust, and I did a lot of talking to myself before talking to you guys, but obviously it looks like I'm talking to myself, so I had quite a few people looking at me funny, but I tried this other indoor flea market across the parking lot. game related. They had a Dreamcast 25 and a GameCube, a Pokemon edition, the Platinum one for 20. Wasn't really in the market for either one of those, so I passed them up. See if I find something today. I doubt it though. Wii in the box for 100, not bad. 100 for 360. I don't know. Not for me, but maybe for somebody. Also got a couple PlayStation 2 games. We got God of War 2 for 250. Devil May Cry 3. So I just scored relatively big at that indoor flea market, a lot bigger than I thought I was going to. They had a lot more video games than they had since the last time I've been in there. So I think I'm going to skip the garage sales because I kind of overextended myself financially a little bit, but I got some good stuff. So yeah, until I get home. Goodwill number 2. Oh, I don't know. All they had was a $5 PlayStation 1, no ports, and a bunch of sports games. So, yeah. So what have we learned here? Ask and you shall receive. It's been roughly 3 weeks or so of looking for video games in this area, and I haven't found anything. Now, I shouldn't say I haven't found anything. I found a lot of crap. Now, anybody can go out and buy tons and tons of crap, but it takes persistence and it takes patience to find something decent. So, let's get into what we found today. I visited several thrift stores today. I actually didn't wind up making it to the garage sales because I was running short on time, and actually I was running short on money too. So I kind of deep sixed that idea. But I did pick up some quality stuff. At the first Goodwill that I went to, now this isn't exactly quality. The only non-video game related thing I'm going to show you guys is this NBC Sports presents Barcelona 92 Olympic basketball games, VHS. Now, I normally don't buy VHS, but I absolutely love the Dream Team. I was so huge into basketball back in the early 90s, throughout the 90s really altogether, but I absolutely love that Dream Team and all the players that were on that team. Jordan, Barkley, Pippen, Magic. You had 11 of the greatest players that ever played the game, and Christian Laettner. But man, being able to relive some of those moments watching this is going to be great. This was $1. So anyway, on to the video game stuff. Now, the first thing that I picked up was Return to Castle Wolfenstein for the Xbox. This is a game that I did not have, and I've been looking out for a cheap price. This was $4. It comes complete. It's a little bit more than I wanted to pay for it, but it was there, and it's in really good condition. So honestly, I didn't think I was going to find anything today, so I figured if I could pick up one decent game that I'm actually going to play, I'd be happy. Moving on. The next stop was a Savers. From the footage you guys have seen, obviously they really didn't have much. I didn't get any games there. I lied. This is actually something that is sort of ungame related, but it is game related. I bought a hairdryer. Now you might be asking yourself, why are you buying a hairdryer? It's $4. I needed a hairdryer because any of you gamers, and I think I just shook the camera doing that, but any of you gamers or game collectors out there know that every once in a while you'll come across things that are littered with tape or stickers and you just can't get it off by rubbing your fingers on it, or you can't get it off with glue gun, or maybe the surface that the tape is on is too sensitive to try to pull it off. Example, now when I moved here, this box, this PlayStation 3 box was in mint condition. You'll see that the movers put tape all over it, the damn fools, for some reason. I actually got a little frustrated trying to pull it off and ripped up some of the box. They also put marker on it, which I'm really upset about. But I'm going to try to get some of this tape off and at least try to salvage it. Yeah, hairdryer is a very important item for game collectors. Moving along, I got this Super Nintendo controller for $3. I don't need a Super Nintendo controller yet. However, I do like to piece together systems. If I find a system only or an AC plug here or an AV cord there, I'll be able to piece them together, usually relatively cheap, and use that as trade bait. So, not a bad pickup. The last thing that I got at this Savers was this Spider-Man dildo that actually doubles as a plug and play. This was $4. I don't like paying that much for plug and plays, but I do have a fairly decent collection of these things, and I really think this looks pretty cool. So I don't mind paying $4 for a piece of game room decoration. It seems to work. The light turns on. I haven't tested it yet. There's that. I went to a thrift store called Thrift out here. That was a bust. There's an indoor flea market right across the parking lot from there. The only two video game related things I've ever found in that place, I've only gone there once, so to be fair, you know, I don't really know how much video game stuff they usually get in. But they had a complete Sega Dreamcast with 2 controllers. One of them was a third-party controller, and 2 disc-only games for $25. Funny thing, I actually saw it there today, except they took one of the controllers out, the first-party controller, for some reason. Anyway, and a Pokemon XD edition Platinum GameCube for $20, which I passed on. I kind of thought about that one, but that was it as far as video games. So I was a little hesitant to go in there today. I thought it was going to be a waste of time, but let me go ahead and get into it. Now, I've had a PlayStation 2 since day one, since the very first day it came out, the launch day. That PlayStation 2 is pretty much on its last legs right now. The memory card port on the first controller slot is starting to go out, and it's starting to have some trouble reading games. So I want to go ahead and retire that, and I've been looking out for a PlayStation 2 Slim for a while. I bought 2 at thrift stores, and they both happen to be bust because they were dead. I have not figured out how to fix them yet. But I did find this PlayStation 2 Slim with the power cord and the AV adapter and 1 controller for $25. So, oh, I'm sorry, it also has a memory card. And I think it has a game in there. I think it's Need for Speed or something. It looks like Need for Speed. Anyway, $25. I was a little hesitant, but I also thought about the fact that I've already spent so much money on the 2 other consoles, the broken ones. So I figured if this one is guaranteed to work, which they said it was, $25 is not a bad price, and I can go ahead and finally retire the PS2 Fat to its box. So, happy about that. We'll see if it works in a little bit. I found a lot of games, a lot more games than I actually thought I was going to find. I'm going to try to start with the crummier ones. Now, I got 2 Xbox games. I got Def Jam Fight for New York for the Xbox. This is complete. And I got 50 Cent Bulletproof for the Xbox. This is also complete. Now, I can tell you that I'm very much aware that these are not quality games, but they are 2 games that I've missed, and I wanted to give them a shot. So I figured for $3 a piece, it wasn't a horrible deal. I got a copy of Wild 9 for the PlayStation. This does have the manual, however it does not have the back cover art. and it's in one of these generic CD cases. I honestly don't know what this game is. It sounds very familiar. I think it was something I was looking out for a while ago, but I don't remember. I'll have to check. I probably should have checked on my phone while I was there. But this one, and they took the prices off, this one was $2. Got myself a copy of International Track and Field. I have this game sealed. I didn't want to open it up. This was 50 cents. This is one of the first games that I was really into on the original PlayStation back in the day. I don't know how well this game is aged because I haven't played it in roughly 15 years maybe. So yeah, there's that. I'm actually pretty happy about that for 50 cents. And this is Point Blank 3. Also missing the back cover art. This one was $2. The reason I got this is because I have a Namco gun, but I don't have any light gun games for the original PlayStation. So I wanted something to play and something to test that out with. And I think this one was a pretty good one, but I'm not 100% sure. I got myself a bunch of original Game Boy games. Jeez, these cases are hard to open. Good God. Why am I struggling so much with this? There we go. This is a copy of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX. I think I already have this, but this was $5. If I do have it, it'll be good trade bait. If not, then I'll give it a whirl. Oh, jeez. I can't believe I'm having this much trouble opening these freaking things. Alright. Should have done this earlier. Wow, this is kind of dirty. Wow. Copy of Wario Land. I don't know how well that's going to come out, but it's absolutely filthy. I should be able to clean most of that up, but it looks like some of the plastic is yellow too. But it was $2, so I know that's a pretty good game. I don't usually run across very good Game Boy games. And I got 4 pretty decent ones here. A couple of games I've been looking out for quite a while. Super Mario Land. This was $2, I believe. And Super Mario Land 2. This was also $2. Got myself yet another copy of Super Mario 64. This one was $7. Now I picked this up because I fully plan on using this as trade bait. I already have one copy of Super Mario 64 now. I had traded another one a couple months ago. I went a long time not being able to find a copy of Super Mario 64 for less than $20. Then I happened to stumble upon a couple, so whenever I find it for less than 10, I'm definitely going to pick it up. Probably the best game that I picked up in this entire haul was The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64, and this one was $5. There's a little bit of marker on the back. It's a little dirty, but I can clean that up. The marker on the back is probably not going to come off though. The label is a little bit rough too, but I did not have this game for the Nintendo 64, so to come across it for $5, I'm not going to complain. And then they also had the strategy guide for $5, so I figured I'd pick that up too. Got a bunch of good games that I didn't actually have already. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the day. I didn't get a chance to hit the garage sales like I wanted to because I spent so much time browsing around these thrift stores, but I think it was worth it. Not a bad day for pickups. I don't know what the total was that I spent altogether. I'm going to put that right here once I actually figure it out. But I know it was way more than I had actually intended to spend. I try not to spend more than $30 per weekend because I usually just look for games on the weekend. Money is tight right now. Time is actually tight, so I don't know how much time I'm actually going to have to do this in the future, which might be a good thing because I don't need to be spending more money on junk that I don't need. And hey, it's fun to have it, but it is stuff that I don't need. One of the things that I plan on doing in the near future, and I've already kind of started doing it a little bit here and there, I've started selling off some of the games and some of the items that I have in my collection that I don't necessarily want, or that I'm not super attached to. I want to get rid of some of the clutter, some of the filler stuff, and try to use some of the money all the money actually that I bring in from that stuff to fund the stuff that I do want for future purchases. So we'll see how that goes. This is a very unusual weekend for this area. I usually don't find a whole lot of anything, so I had fun today. I found some pretty decent stuff, and I had a really great time looking through things, and I really love that rush of adrenaline that I get when I find something awesome. So that's the reason I do this. You know, I don't get as much time to play this stuff as I used to, and I'm sure most of you guys don't, but it's definitely that thrill of the hunt that keeps me going. So I know my camera work is kind of rough. This is my first time going out and trying to shoot stuff with a camera. I just got a new HD camera, and it seems to work out pretty decent. I enjoy watching people who can make this sort of thing kind of interesting. So hopefully I'll be able to do that for you guys. Hopefully it'll be something that I think is interesting and worth my time, and I'll continue to keep doing. But I know I've got a lot of little rough edges to smooth out. If you guys have any suggestions, man, feel free to go ahead and post them. That's my first episode of Game Hunting Live. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely an experience for me making it. So I'll see you guys next time. Later. Let's do that again. Does this not look like a dildo to you? It's kind of gross. I mean, look at this shit. What were they thinking?